Here's your wrestling news for January 23rd, 2020. And your headlines for today include WrestleMania plans for Roman Reigns in jeopardy. When will WWE announce Mania matches? Chaos on SmackDown with missing talent. AEW star says The Undertaker should be in jail. What's planned for Sting at AEW Revolution? Major AEW show being pushed back. Former WWE superstar confirms AEW move. Legends and Hall of Famers announced for WrestleMania. Is the NXT-AEW war coming to an end? More Rumble participants confirmed. Former NXT champion to return with huge push. SmackDown star shines with incredible feat of strength, and more. We're kicking off today with Roman Reigns, who's almost certainly going to walk into WrestleMania 37 as Universal Champion, but who will he face? For weeks, Daniel Bryan has been the favorite to face the Tribal Chief in April, and is also the favorite to win the Men's Royal Rumble match. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, there are currently 2 wrestlers in consideration to face Reigns at the biggest show of the year. As they noted, Reigns has 2 different opponents that are being considered, so Bryan is not a lock, and at least as of this past week, Nakamura was not one of the 2 under consideration as of last week, even after the gauntlet. It's unclear who the second possible opponent for Reigns would be, as although Goldberg has said he hopes to face the Tribal Chief one day, it's unlikely that the company would book this match, considering the fan backlash he's received since returning. There have been rumors of Big E getting a push even bigger than his current role as Intercontinental Champion, but for now, WWE is keeping quiet on who Reigns will face. Reigns' match will be just one of several huge matches that'll happen over WrestleMania 37 weekend, though fans shouldn't expect any matches to be announced anytime soon. In the Wrestling Observer, it was noted that virtually nothing for the biggest show of the year is a lock, and that's partly because of the WWE Fastlane pay-per-view. With Fastlane happening on March 21st, mere weeks before WrestleMania on April 10th and 11th, it was pointed out that the company probably won't announce many, if any, Mania matches until after Fastlane. With the March pay-per-view taking place just 20 days before Night 1 of WrestleMania 37, WWE has a tall order ahead, as they'll need to fit a lot of booking into a very limited period of time. Over to SmackDown, and this week's show promised Paul Heyman would be in action against Adam Pearce, but after last week's show, fans weren't ready to believe it. It was only a week ago that Pearce hammered home that the card is always subject to change, which allowed Kevin Owens to replace him at the Royal Rumble. And unsurprisingly, this week's card changed, and Heyman didn't compete. It would have been more surprising had WWE actually gone ahead with their announced match, though judging by his expression in the main event, Adam Pearce didn't see the twist coming. It's baffling that the man who outsmarted Paul Heyman last week didn't see this coming, and didn't realize that when anyone cuts a promo saying they're not in the arena, they're guaranteed to appear from the crowd in a hoodie, just like Owens did last night. It would have been interesting to see what Heyman would have done in a match against Pearce, but WWE's twist ending was probably the only part of the show fans saw coming. Though fans saw this twist ending coming a mile off, there are parts of SmackDown which surprised us, though not for the reasons WWE were hoping. Jey Uso was nowhere to be seen on this week's show, and we were wondering where he was and why commentary didn't come up with a kayfabe reason to explain his absence. Saying something as simple as he's training for the Rumble match would have made much more sense than his disappearance, and that wasn't the only SmackDown head-scratcher. Last week's show saw WWE tease an alliance between Roman Reigns and Apollo Crews, which wasn't followed up on this week, and after his current storyline with Big E, we expect Crews to once more slide down the card into obscurity. Now, The Undertaker recently appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience and didn't make any friends with his comments on the current-day wrestlers. Speaking about the locker room of today compared to when he began, the dead man said, "I remember walking into my first real dressing room. Half of them had knives and guns in their bags. Shit got handled then. Now you walk in and there's guys playing video games and making sure they look pretty." When Tom Pritchard posted a tweet asking fans to really listen before they formed their opinion, one person who did that was AEW's Trent, who sarcastically commented that The Undertaker needs to be put in jail. Parodying those people who were blowing the dead man's comments out of proportion, some people didn't get the joke, as Trent later had to explain that he was being sarcastic to a fan who called him out. Though Trent was being sarcastic, there's plenty of wrestlers, including Up Down Down's Xavier Woods, who've said that the dead man is wrong on this, though we doubt the Phenom will be apologizing for his comments anytime soon. AEW news next, and Sting will be making his AEW in-ring debut when he teams with Darby Allin at Revolution in the Icon's first professional match since 2015. In the Observer newsletter, it was noted that the street fight between Sting and Allin versus Starks and Cage will almost certainly be a cinematic match, saying, "Sting will be just shy of 62 and has a bad neck combined with spinal stenosis, although in a cinematic match, they should be able to protect him." Though he won't be wrestling live, his participation at AEW Revolution is a huge deal, and also ensures his last match won't be the Night of Champions 2015 encounter where he had a career-ending injury. Cinematic matches have become more common in the past year as wrestling promotions have needed to think outside the box, and now AEW will have a chance to produce their own spectacle for the Icon. There's a ton of fans excited to see Sting compete at Revolution, but they might be waiting even longer than they expected. That's according to a report from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, who said that the show will now be moved to March, possibly because of a pay-per-view clash with a Jake Paul boxing event. That being said, this boxing pay-per-view hasn't been confirmed by Paul yet, and with the date getting ever closer, the odds of that match happening seem to be decreasing. Though Revolution is currently scheduled for February 27th, AEW are now considering either March 6th or March 7th at Daly's Place in Jacksonville. It's certainly interesting that although AEW confirmed that Sting and Darby Allin will face Brian Cage and Ricky Starks at Revolution, the match was announced without any date mentioned, and although AEW haven't confirmed the move, fans can expect the news soon enough. Sting is just the latest former WWE star to sign with AEW, and Ryback may soon be joining him in Daly's Place. Over the past few weeks, Ryback has made unproven claims against WWE, accusing the company of illegally suppressing his social media accounts, but that didn't stop the big guy from making an announcement on Ryback TV. He said, "I'm coming back and I'm going to the competition and we're going to kick their ass in the ratings." It's hard to imagine that Ryback is talking about any competition for WWE other than AEW, though there's been no word of Ryback signing with Tony Khan's promotion from AEW themselves. If he does join AEW, then he may need a new name, as the Ryback moniker is the subject of a fierce legal battle between himself and WWE, but fans can expect him in AEW if the big guy is to be believed. Back to WWE now, and although we don't know what matches the company has in store for the two-night card of WrestleMania 37, some plans are coming together. On Twitter, WrestleVotes reported that WWE is now working on 4 major matches, with 2 of these main event level matches going to each night. Their report also noted that both Goldberg and John Cena are almost certainly going to work the show of shows, whilst having The Rock compete, or even appear, is unlikely. As for The Undertaker, their report said that the Deadman situation is to be determined despite his final farewell at Survivor Series 2020. Though he's retired, the Phenom has said that he could come out of retirement for the right situation, and time will tell if WrestleMania 37 is the right place and the right time for The Undertaker. Over to NXT, and the Black and Gold brand's days of airing on Wednesday nights may be coming to an end. This week, NBC announced it would be shutting down its NBC Sports Network by the end of the year, meaning a lot of sports fans will now be tuning into the USA Network, the current home of NXT, for their sporting fix. One sport that fans still will be watching is hockey, and given that NHL coverage is on every Wednesday evening, that could cause the USA Network to bump NXT from its usual 8 p.m. Eastern time slot. Any potential move would also bring the Wednesday Night Wars to an end, and we imagine that most fans would determine AEW Dynamite as the winner, even if the promotion isn't the reason behind an NXT move. At this time, nothing has been confirmed regarding NXT's future, but if the NHL does move to Wednesdays, expect the Black and Gold brand to be affected. Now, the entire world has undergone some major changes over the past year, with wrestling shows having to ditch live fans for the safety of the fans, the wrestlers, and the staff. Now though, a vaccine is being rolled out and will hopefully bring this difficult time to an end, but according to Fightful, WWE isn't taking any responsibility for their superstars getting the jab. Their report goes that WWE told all superstars via their talent relations app that they won't be providing the vaccine throughout the company, and stated that it's the talent's own responsibility to get it. Though some wrestlers were surprised by this, especially in the wake of Drew McIntyre's positive test, other wrestlers reportedly expected this lack of involvement by the company due to their status as independent contractors. Speaking of the WWE champion, Fightful also noted that following his positive test, several more WWE names have tested positive, but didn't specify who they were. McIntyre, who is set to return live on next week's Raw, urged fans to take this situation seriously, and hopefully all the superstars will be vaccinated as soon as they can, even if WWE aren't going to help out. We are looking ahead to the Royal Rumble next, as more names have been confirmed for the two titular matches. On SmackDown, Billie Kay told Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan that she got them spots in the Women's Royal Rumble match before she was promptly kicked out of the group. Tamina Snuka was also added to the match, making this her fourth consecutive Rumble match. On the men's side of things, Dolph Ziggler, Big E, and Sami Zayn were all confirmed for the Rumble match, as well as Shinsuke Nakamura. The King of Strong Style knows all about winning the 30-man match, as he did just that in 2018, and he'll be hoping to do it again on January 31st. From one former NXT champion to another now, as Aleister Black hasn't been seen in recent months ever since his move to SmackDown in last year's draft. Following the messy firing of Zelina Vega, there was speculation that Black was being punished for his wife's support for unionization, but PW Insider are reporting that this isn't the case. According to Mike Johnson's report, Black was purposely pulled from television so he could have a, quote, dramatic debut on the Blue brand, but it's unclear why that hasn't happened yet. He also added that after his wife got fired, that Black's push was delayed not as a punishment, but so the company could wait for things to calm down. Black was drafted to SmackDown last October, but vanished from the show a few weeks later after losing matches to Kevin Owens. This isn't the first time a huge push has been rumored for the Dutchman, as he was supposed to be a big name on Paul Heyman's Raw before Heyman was removed as executive director, and we'll have to see if this push finally comes for the former NXT champion. And we're ending today with more SmackDown news, as fans saw one of the most incredible feats of strength on last night's show. During the surprisingly entertaining obstacle course between Bianca Belair and Bayley, the EST of WWE was tasked with carrying Otis, who weighs in at 330 pounds. Not only did Belair do this, but she made the former Mr. Money in the Bank look like a cruiserweight, and with Bayley also playing her part in the obstacle course to perfection, both women certainly impressed on this week's SmackDown.